What's your name?
My name is Jake Hudnut.
And what do you do?
I'm the new Chief Prosecutor for the City of Jersey City.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's rewind a little bit. How did you get to this position?
Sure. So I've been in Jersey City since about 2004. I went to law school at Seton Hall Law in Newark. When I left law school, I worked for a presiding criminal judge in Newark. And then I hung out my own shingle and opened up my own law office. And I fell in love with defending people accused of crimes. I probably represented over 500-600 people accused of crimes in Hudson County and New Jersey and a little bit in New York. Had 15 jury trials and found a passion for criminal justice and the changes that are needed for criminal justice to be even stronger. This spring, I had some conversations with the mayor, and he decided to make a change in the chief prosecutor's office here in the municipal court, and here I am.
Now, you were also running for city council.
Yes.
You want to talk more about that?
Sure. Last year, I ran for city council in Ward E, downtown. After the dust settled from the campaign, the mayor and I got together and we talked a little bit about why we weren't on the same page during the campaign. And
why?
Well, I told him of all the things that I talked about, it was some of the things about criminal justice that he felt that he had said in the first term. And I have to give him a lot of credit because he said, how can I fix it? How can I do better? Where can I do better? And I said, well, you can make a change with your chief prosecutor. And I have to give him credit because we are on the same page now. We have listened to each other. He has taken my advice. I don't know that he's ever had anyone in his ear that has the experience that I have representing people accused of crimes. And I'm really excited about the direction that he has taken the city in the second term. I feel like this term so far has been beyond anything we saw in the first term in terms of the progressive vision. And it's really exciting. And I think what him and I went through the past few days has made our bond even stronger. I think our bond is strong because we've put aside the things that we said about each other in the past, which I think was really big of him. Almost like a slightly older brother, we tease each other.
So it means you're okay to stand up to him. So you've been only here for 2 weeks and you're already making waves. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on and the hot topics in the news today?
Sure. So I started on July 2nd. I was sworn in informally, and then I was sworn in formally on July 10th. The mayor and I are strong believers in the social justice issues surrounding marijuana legalization. And I think I'll speak for my part, I was very inspired with the way Governor Murphy ran a campaign saying that, not only are there the benefits that people say of smoking marijuana, but for the governor it was a social justice issue. And I at the time was a defense attorney and I saw that. I very rarely had white clients accused of marijuana. They're mostly clients of color, even though I knew white people smoked marijuana too. And so when I took this role, the mayor and I thought, how can we, while legalization is pending in Trenton, how can we sort of mitigate the consequences that are attached to marijuana convictions? Because it's a misdemeanor. New Jersey calls it a disorderly person offense, but it's a misdemeanor. And it can result in driver's license loss, immigration status loss, school, financial aid, things of that nature. We in the legal department found various court rules that allowed me to amend or downgrade or dismiss marijuana charges. We were very confident that we had the legal authority to do that and effectively decriminalize marijuana and enforce it as a local ordinance. The Attorney General disagreed after we announced that policy. We were firm in our position, and various outside stakeholders reviewed our legal argument and were confident in it too. And so we met yesterday with the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey, which for me is a 35-year-old attorney, 2 weeks on the job, was amazing. And he is an intelligent, gracious, smart man. And we believe in our policy, but I am willing to put it aside. And as a result of that, he agreed to adjourn all marijuana cases across the state of New Jersey until a policy is written statewide that addresses what local prosecutors can and can't do with marijuana charges between now and legalization. There will be various stakeholders in that working group for that memo. I can't tell you what the result of that memo will be, but the fact that right now, from Cape May County up to the most northern corner of New Jersey, no person, particularly no person of color, will have a marijuana conviction.
That's amazing. So basically Jersey City paved the way for this to happen.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
you should be super proud of yourself. That's huge.
I am. I want to say two things.
Right.
I think the mayor had my back on Friday. I think the Attorney General wrote a very strong letter to me. It's my understanding the Attorney General went to great lengths to keep that letter private. I think a different level of government between the city and the state leaked that letter. And as a young lawyer, that was a bit of a burn. Again, we don't know where this policy in the next 6 weeks is going to go, but the Attorney General, in agreeing to postpone all marijuana cases for 6 weeks, really has put himself, I think that's brave, I think that's bold, and I think he's kind of at the national forefront of progressive prosecutors. So I have to give the mayor and the Attorney General a lot of credit.
That's amazing.
I am very proud and excited of what I did. I feel like the little engine that could, but I do need to give the mayor and the Attorney General credit.
That's great.
In 2018, it does happen.
Right.
People serve jail sentences. The most will be a couple days while you're processed. The Attorney General's memo does not address law enforcement and their best practices. That will stay in place. I do know that Jersey City Police Department, who were involved in the drafting of our policy, their leadership, have deprioritized marijuana arrests. What I think people may lose sight of is the conviction for marijuana is New Jersey uses weird language. We don't call it a misdemeanor, we call it a disorderly person offense, but it's the same impact as a misdemeanor conviction from any other state in the country. And so what happens when legalization comes, one of the questions that has to be answered is, what do we do with all the people that have pled guilty to marijuana over the years? So not only is there a social justice component right now, that no one's going to plead guilty to marijuana in the next 6 weeks or be found guilty by trial, but we're cutting down on the backlog of expungements that will be necessary when marijuana is legalized. So there's a jail impact, but there's also just one of the things they don't teach you in law school, or they really don't teach you in the courtroom, is the collateral consequences of a conviction and how it follows a person around. And so we've mitigated that significantly over the next 6 weeks.
Awesome. That's it.
Cool. Thank you.
That was good.